Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Paphos Project. Make sure you hang around to the end of the video for a special surprise by the ladies and gentlemen of my local municipality choir. Before we get back to the cottage renovations, there's been another development at the front of the house. This is the old driveway and parking spot, and as you can see, it's in quite a sorry state. The concrete is cracked and layers are coming apart, so seeing as I still have a work crew here replacing the road, I thought I might as well try my luck and ask if they'd be willing to help me demolish it. As usual, the local Cypriots are happy to help, and for a couple of cappuccino freddos and a little cash in hand, the next thing I know, Pambos was arriving with his digger and got straight to it. This would have been such a difficult job for me using my hand tools, and renting equipment here doesn't seem to be a thing, as everyone has a friend or a cousin with the necessary tools. Once again, there was a surprise in store once the work had gotten started. I'd foolishly assumed that my foundations were solid from edge to edge, as they are in all the other countries I've lived. That's not the case here when my house was built. I'm informed that prior to the early 2000s, building codes here, such as they were, only required a frame connecting each of the pillars, which was then filled with rubble and dirt, stamped down, and topped off with a layer of concrete. This means that as soon as he cracked through the first section, there was no going back, and we had to remove both levels. This was a bit of a shock first thing on a Saturday morning, but at least now it'll be a lot easier to lay fresh rebar and have a new drive poured once I get around to it. On a pleasant note, I honestly thought I would be removing all the rubble myself, which, when seeing how much there was, had my back aching in anticipation. So I was incredibly grateful when Ahmed and Riyadh turned up with a front loader and proceeded to take all the rubble away to an undisclosed location, with no extra charge. And here we are, one fully dug up drive, ready for a replacement. Okay, quick little update. I was expecting to be continuing to work downstairs below my feet on the ceiling of the cottage. However, in a bit of a welcome but surprising twist of fate, it turns out we're getting rain next week, which means that this ceiling needs to be waterproof. So first thing I need to do is clear off the vast amount of cat leavings that the local strays have left for me, kindly on the top of my roof. I then need to go out these tiles. These all need to be removed. Once I've got all of those removed and I've got everything cleared and gotten rid of this crazy clothing line drying contraption thing that's been cemented onto the roof, I can then get everything power washed off, figure out if it's sufficiently sloped that I don't need to do any major changes to it. I'm hoping that's the case. If that's the case, then all I need to do is get everything waterproofed. I've got the waterproofing stuff downstairs in the shed. So that's it, really. Better crack on. First things first, I tried to remove the clothing line, but that turned out to have been cemented to the roof quite thoroughly, so I decided it would probably be easier to deal with once all the tiles are gone. As you can probably see by looking at the edge of the tiled area, these were some chunky boys. The sublayer must have been 4 to 6 centimeters of concrete, with the tiles themselves being another 6 centimeters thick. You can see how thick the tiles are as I stack them off to the side on the edge of the roof. They were mostly coming up in one piece, a foreshadowing of the state of the sublayer I'd get to later. The weight of these were exerting on the roof was insane. It's a miracle the whole thing didn't just cave in years ago. And there we go. That's the first morning's work done. A quick bit of lunch and hydration, and it's back to it. Using the hammer drill and a chipping tool, I was able to get the tiles separated from the roof, giving my first real look at the state of it underneath the tiles. As you can see, it's not good. I assume this work was done by a fellow enthusiast as opposed to a professional builder, so I'm not going to be too harsh. But you can clearly see why this was causing the damage that it did. It's brittle and not bonded to the roof at all. Entire slabs are coming up just by using my hands. With the sun setting on the day, my progress made it clear where the damage was coming from, and my uneducated suspicions were confirmed. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the second day of working on the roof of the cottage. Today I need to finish off getting rid of the old tiles, then clean up some of this messed up concrete that's on top of here. I've got a friend coming over who's going to help. We're going to look at a couple of options for how to fix the difference in height. We might be using some self-leveling compound or something like that. We're not entirely sure yet. We're going to figure that out together. In the meantime, just so that you can see, so the reason, as I thought, that we're having all the issues with the roof, the ceiling underneath, and the rebar and the concrete was because water ingress. Now, as I've been pulling up these tiles, which is what I thought was at least part of the reason why we're having that issue, it's become really clear that yes, absolutely, this is the problem. And you can see it here. If you look at these, this is the underside of the cement that was laid underneath the tiles. It is completely porous, it's bubbled up, it's not been mixed properly. So what's happened is it's caused these lumps and bumps everywhere, which of course then water's gotten into, and because of that, this entire thing was just a little reservoir of water, which was seeping into the roof and causing problems underneath. So this was absolutely essential. We're going to keep going today, and hopefully should make some good progress. So all the best. Kalimera. Here's a new rubble pile. All this is just from the concrete under the tiles, which now makes 3 rubble piles in the back of the house. I really hope I can get that skipped soon. So I very luckily had a friend who's got a couple weeks to spare between jobs and had apparently had enough of seeing me suffer alone. So he's decided to help me with the roof, my electrics, and the plumbing. I can't overstate how grateful I am that I've got good friends that want to help, especially considering they know what they're doing. We chipped away any remaining bits and pieces that we could see, including the joint between the front and the back of the cottage, and quickly got that repaired with concrete. With that done and all the tiles and rubber gone, it's time to wash away the years and years of grime that have accumulated. The poor Parkside water jet really wasn't ready for this and needed a couple of breaks before he could get the job done. For us, it was actually quite nice to get to play with cool water instead of hot tools in dust. As you can see, this also let us see where all the dips in the roof were, as it was all accumulating in big puddles. The primary drain at the top right of the screen had a pipe that had completely separated from the roof and was doing less than nothing to help the water drain away. Instead, it was just running down the wall on the other side. So a quick bit of concrete repair and we're back to having a viable drain for the water. Stage 1 complete. The roof is now ready for the first pour of self-leveling compound. This stuff is amazing. Essentially, it's like a quick hardening but runny form of concrete that creates a level bonded surface when it's dried. This should resolve the worst of the water pooling on this section of the roof. While the first pour was a success, it also made it clear that 3 bags of compound were not going to be enough. I think I might have got the maths a little bit wrong for the amounts, but we live, we learn. So I bought another 15 bags to get the rest of the roof done. To make sure we didn't get a failed seal between the second pour and the first pour, we sanded back all the edges to create a rough surface for the bond. Once that's done, it's a quick hoover to get rid of any dust, and we're ready to pour the next stage of this part of the roof. Compound on and covers over the top of it, ready for the first rain of the season since last March. These clouds made it pretty clear that if I hadn't had my friend around to help me get this done in time, I'd have been in serious trouble. Which was confirmed the next morning when I came and found this all over the tarp. There was a good 3 inches of rain still left in the standing areas, but the tarp did its job. Well, it's finally happened. After about 7 months, we've had our first lot of rain. We managed to get a concrete compound on just on the worst of the sections just before it came, and as you saw in the previous clip, obviously we got it all covered. Some water did get in, some positives. Much better drainage. A lot of the water is actually going out to the drain that we fixed now, so that's looking a lot better. There is still a certain amount of dip here, so we're gonna have to try and figure that out. In the meantime, we really want to stop any pooling of the water in the future. So I'm just gonna sweep all this away now. Then we're gonna tidy this up, and then I'm gonna have to cover it again because looking at the skies, we're due to get some more rain again, either later today or tonight. So we'll get covered up again, then we've got no rain for the foreseeable next couple of weeks, so I'll let that all dry out, and then we're going to get this section done, and we're going to get the other section of the roof done as well, and then hopefully it should be all good. Here we go. Time to get the other half of the roof done. It's had a few days to dry out, and then it's the same process as with the first half. Chipping away, sanding, cleaning, and then a fresh pour of self-leveling compound. And with a beautiful golden sunset as our stage, it's time for the grand reveal of the newly leveled cottage roof. To say that I'm happy with the result would be a serious understatement. I think you can probably tell from my reaction, I'm pretty stoked. Amazing! Hi everyone, well this is it, last stage. We've managed to get all the leveling concrete on, fix the roof, it's watertight, we fixed the whole back of the chimneys were, and today is the day we're putting a waterproof membrane on. So that should be it after today. Whole roof should be waterproof, weatherproof, and ready for the next set of rains. So this should be a good day. Before we go ahead and spread the fiber and silicone waterproofing material, we need to prep the surface with a primer so that it creates a nice solid bond. This stuff was horrible, yellow, tacky, but it obviously does the job it's there for. And finally, here we go. It's time for the waterproofing agent to go over the top. Now, we did have to do a few layers of this, which I didn't record, but it went on pretty well. The second and third layer went on a lot easier, and it's created a really good, solid, thick coat. Guess what I left sitting at the end of the roof? And for the obligatory before and after shot, I can't believe how well this actually turned out. The water drains, it's waterproof underneath. It's amazing. I'm quite proud of this. And just as we'd finished this off, we started hearing something in the background. A special little performance by our local municipality choir. Beautiful. Thank you.